And welcome back. Well, our next guest had B's and C's and didn't study much, but after he found his passion, he started getting straight A's.
And joining us now is Mike Zussman. He is a licensed psychotherapist who specializes in kids, anxiety, and adolescence. He recently gave a speech called "This is Only a Test: The Role of Family in Standardized Testing." I saw that he was giving this speech, and I said, I gotta call this guy. He has to be on the Morning Blend because I think this is such a big deal And I like that you're talking about families. It's not just about the student. I think school and anxiety and standardized testing and all this can have an effect on the entire family.
Yeah, without a doubt. And parents play such an important role in all of this. You know, as parents, we're showing our kids, you know, what to do, how to feel even. And if we're modeling some of these things in an appropriate way, like what do we do with anxiety, our kids will pick up on that. And then, you know, parents play such a huge role with this.
Mm-hmm. When you used to get B's and C's, was it because you had anxiety or you just didn't know what you enjoyed?
You know, I wasn't motivated.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I was going to school and I knew I had to go to school and I had great attendance and, you know, my parents, you know, did what they could for me and I just really wasn't that motivated for it. And once I got into college and I started studying topics that I really was, you know, excited about and had a passion for, and all of a sudden I have all this motivation. All of a sudden I'm actually doing this studying thing, which was foreign to me at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I got those skills earlier on for sure. But I had friends and, you know, other tutors and things that helped me with that. But all of a sudden, you know, I want to study, I want to learn, I want to do well, I want to attend in class.
Because you're truly interested. So do kids have anxiety, in your opinion, about especially standardized tests?
Yeah, well, you know, some kids do, some kids don't. That just depends on the child. Some kids just have anxiety in general, and then all of a sudden a test comes up, and all of a sudden their anxiety just flares. Some kids will not have much anxiety and be very nervous about tests. The American Test Anxiety Association just did a study, and they found that about 20% of school-going kids actually have severe test anxiety.
Severe testing anxiety.
And is this anxiety coming from the fact that they don't know how to properly study? They don't enjoy the material they're studying, kind of like you said, or is it just the fear of failing and not doing well?
You know, I think yes.
To all of
the above kind of, but also an important factor is a poor self-confidence. If they're not confident they're going to do well, you know, they're going to kind of struggle.
Absolutely.
And therefore they're going to have anxiety. I'm not going to do as well as I want to do. And oh no, here comes this test. I'm not going to get the right answers. And all of a sudden anxiety's, you know, up.
And what happens if you don't know that I think parents sometimes are unaware that their child has extreme test anxiety. What are signs of it? I mean, they get sometimes like truly ill almost, right?
Yeah, they do. And it depends on the child. Some children will become very fidgety and, you know, they'll be kind of playing with things. Some may even rock. Some will get sick in the morning. And you know, oh, my child really loves going to school typically, but they have a test today. And I noticed last time they had a test, they said their stomach hurt too. And this morning they're saying their stomach hurt. So I'm picking up on something here. What's a common cause? And it seems to be whenever my child has a test, they're getting sick or they had a poor night's sleep the night before, those kinds of things. So know your child and look for, you know, different abnormalities in their behavior.
Do you think as a whole we emphasize grades over learning?
Too often, possibly. I haven't really looked at any kind of studies on that. I'm not sure if there are any, but I think thinking about parents in general and the parents that I work with, yeah, there is an emphasis on what did you get on that test, or what did you get on that report card, and not so much did you actually learn the material, because they may learn the material and they may know everything there is to know about it and then get to the test and all of a sudden forget everything and do poorly, and therefore their grade suffers. Well, why did you get that bad grade?
But those grades then lead to potential colleges and scholarships. So,
and they know that.
Yeah.
They know that for sure. And that's something else to keep in mind is, you know, it's important where you go to school. It's important to go to school and go to college. It may not be so important what college you go to. Because again, without that motivation, without that passion, without that drive, curiosity, creativity, all these things that tests are not measuring, it's really not going to amount to much. I mean, you could have all the great grades in the world, but if you're lacking all those skills, social skills, things like that, what good is it going to do after college?
Well, and here's a loaded question, but do standardized tests, tests like the ACT, the SAT, some of the Iowa Basics or the state standardized tests, are those a good predictor of future success?
Not necessarily. You know, given my own personal experience, you know, I had a 22 on my ACTs. I remember getting that and remember thinking, man, I thought I was going to do much better than that. And, you know, pretty soon I'll be getting a doctorate in child psychology. You wouldn't be able to guess from that 22 on my ACT that this guy right here, or my grades in high school even, which you gladfully advertised.
I know, I know. You shared it with me on the phone.
That's
You're
okay, that's
like,
okay.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
You wouldn't guess that this guy's going to be a child psychologist in a few months. You know, you wouldn't guess he's about to get a doctorate. So I don't think they do a great job. I think if we had tests that assess for motivation, assess for confidence, a child's curiosity and creativity, I think those are better predictors of future success.
We've got to go because we're out of time, but just real quick, to parents out there who've noticed that their kids have stress or anxiety for tests, what can they do to help them?
There are several things. First of all, communication is huge. If you're not constantly in communication with your child, when you do notice things, it's very difficult to bring things up. So constant communication with your child, look for the signs, and seek help. You know, if there are things that your child's struggling with and you don't know how to do it, get the help they need. We quickly get math tutors for our kids. Why not get anxiety tutors, you know, therapists, psychologists, to help them with that?
Yep, learn the techniques.
And as a final closing word, should parents sometimes back off?
Depends what you mean by back off. I think sometimes we back off too much, and as parents we're on our phones too much and we're behind the computer too much and we're not involved enough. But there are also other things where we're, you know, the helicopter parent. We're too involved with things. So I think to that respect, as far as backing off, we need to let our kids fail.
Yeah.
They're going to fail. We fail, you guys have failed, I fail, my kids are going to fail. There's no doubt about it. I need to accept that and help them pick up the pieces again.
So keep the pressure low, communication high. Thanks so much.
Yes, exactly.
I like that. Great to meet you. Thank
Great
you
to
so
meet you.
much
Thank
for
you very
talking
much.
about that. Yeah.
All right.